Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the replay. My name is Bobby. I am the host of this group, The Spiritual Artist, and this is Daily Fuel, where I talk a lot about things every day. And if this is the first time seeing Daily Fuel, then let me know it's your first time seeing Daily Fuel. Right? Hashtag first time. And if you're watching in the replay, put hashtag replay artist, hashtag something or other. Darn it, hang on, I forgot the windows that I need to see the comments and things. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Comments and reactions. There it is. And if you're joining live, do me a favor and start commenting and let me know that you're here. You can comment the whole time I'm talking. I will eventually ignore all the comments and do my spiel, and then I'll come back to the comments. I see it says Amy is watching with you. Got to take the dog out, be back, now laugh. That was Richard. Richard is not. Oh, now you're showing up. You weren't showing up, and now suddenly you did show up. Whatever. I don't understand this eCamp thing. Yeah. So anyway, Robin is here. Hi, I'm out in the field. Like literally the field, like in the backyard, you mean, or like you're in the quantum field? And Ray is here. Hey, Ray, how you doing? Breathe. I will. And Amy is here. Nearly missed it doing another painting. Hello, my favorite artists. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if you're joining live, then start commenting, and if you're in the replay, let me know you're in the replay. And we're gonna start in just a few seconds. I don't know if you notice, but does it look different? I've been playing around down here. I got a new lens for my camera, and at like 3 hours ago, I was like, screw it, and I moved everything, and I moved it back so that I could get more space between me and that wall. I'm trying to get more depth of field in there, and I was playing around with the blue lighting to make it a little more uniform. I think I still got some work to do in here. It's just I just got to this point to do today's live. There's a light right here. You see my hand is all lit up. There's a light right here, and I've got a thing over it because it was really harsh. So if that thing falls down in the middle of the live, do not be alarmed. It's just like a sheet covering. Anyway, so let's just get started. Overthinking. Man, do I love overthinking. I don't love it. I do it, which means I guess I love it. I don't know why I do it. I think we all do it to a degree. I certainly do it. Yeah. So today it's Friday, so I had my Friday call with Landon Porter, and we've been doing this now for 3 years. Just about every single Friday. It used to be Saturdays, then we switched it to Fridays, but anyway, you get the point, every week. So, I was telling him about some ideas that I have for my business, and I was just like saying all these things, and I kept thinking about like, oh, but if this thing happens, then I have to do this, and if that thing happens, and then I got to the end, I'm like, so what do you think? He's like, dude, I think you should just do it and stop thinking about it. Just stop thinking about it and just do it, right? And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I realized I overthink things. And then he said something into the conversation that really struck with me. He said, we were talking about how like so many people, they learn from coaches, they learn from courses and things, and these things teach tactics. You know, how to get this in 5 days, how to make your business do this by doing this, and then like step 1, do this thing, and step 2, do this thing, and it's like, so people can get like measurable results. And he and I don't teach tactics. He and I teach principles and strategies. And that's harder to articulate. It's like, that's why Daily Fuel, it's like I say a lot of the same things, even though it's a different topic every day. But it's all kind of the same principle. And when he said that, I realized that all the questions that I had today for him were tactical questions, because I was questioning myself about like, should I do it this way or should I do it this way? So what if people don't like this, or what if this happens, or is this going to make more money, or is this going to make more money? And suddenly all of that stuff, I just like took it and threw it in the garbage, because I realized I don't have to worry about any of those things all I have to do is ask myself, does it fit my principle? And does it fit the vision that I have? And I teach this to business clients, when we're doing our branding work. It's like, should we do this or should we do this? Should we sell this product or should we sell that product? And ideally, the thing is, it's like, well, what would fit our mission the best? What would fit what this company is about the best? And so today I thought of 3 questions that I think a lot of us ask. There are more than 3, obviously, but I do everything in 3s. So today I thought of 3 questions that a lot of us ask where we overthink. And the first one, I think, especially for artists, is, will other people like this? And also the flip side of that same question is, will people approve of what I'm doing? Right? Will they like my work, and will they approve of the fact that I'm doing it? They kind of go hand in hand, I think, and I combine them. And again, this, I think people worry about. It's like, will they like this? Maybe I should paint it this way, or maybe I should build this type of thing, or maybe I'm not as good as that artist, or maybe I can't dance or sing or draw or paint or sculpt or take pictures or whatever the thing is, right? We all have different things. Race here, I gotta breathe. Right? So it's like that's a problem that we ask ourselves, and are people going to like this? Are people going to approve of what I'm doing? But once you take that question and instead of applying it to tactical things like, am I as good as this, or should I use this instead, and apply it to the principle of, man, I am about this. This speaks to me. My soul is calling me to do this. Then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter if anybody likes it, because what will happen is the more you just do what is part of your vision, part of your principle, part of what is innately inside of you, then you will only attract people that like that thing, and everybody who doesn't like it will eventually get bored of either telling you they don't like it, or they'll just get bored of looking at it and disappear from your life, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So the second question is this sustainable? And this one is really, I was thinking about this in terms of business. Like, am I going to like doing this business for a long time? Or am I going to want to make this product for an extended period of time? And thinking in terms of business again, because this is where I got this one. There's a reason why I named my company Fuel Blue and not Bobby's Web Design. Because I knew that there might be a day where I didn't want to be a web designer anymore, but I still wanted to have my company, that I might want to transition what I sell, even though it's still me making something that is meaningful. And this concept made me realize that my principle has always been to create something that has meaning, that is coming forth from me. And maybe for a time that was websites. I know I down on it a lot, when I say it, websites, but I got into it because I really liked it. There was parts of it that I really enjoyed. And so it made a lot of sense to get clients that wanted websites, especially when I started, because everybody needed a website back then, so it was a good business to start. But I knew, like, I might not always want to do websites. And then I got into video, and then there was a time in the early 2000s where we were making those business cards on CD-ROMs. You put them in your computer, and it would be like a business card. I don't know what the hell the point of that was. Everybody wanted one for like 6 months, and everybody wanted one, and then all of a sudden nobody wanted one. They were the weirdest thing. I never understood them, but people paid me to make them, and I took their money. And it was fun, but eventually we all realized this is stupid. Why are we making these things? And nobody has them anymore. But so that's just it. It's like I'll tell a client all the time, like, they'll be like, Joe's painting. I was like, don't call it Joe's painting, because what if you want to get into wallpaper? What if you want to get into carpentry? What if you want to get into some other thing, And it's like, I had a client once who was who did tile work, and it was like, Billy's Tile Work or something, right? That wasn't it, but it doesn't matter, And then he wanted to be a home builder, but his entire reputation and brand and everything that he was tied to tiles. Tile was just a tactic of how his art and his soul came through to him, and now he's realizing, wait, I can also do this thing, and I like this even more than tile. But now he had to do all this work to rebrand. I'm Fuel Blue. I don't have to do any work to rebrand. I can just say I'm making this thing now, and everybody goes, that makes sense, because that's something you would do. So there's that. And then finally, the big one, I think, is how do I make money with this? How do I get this to give me money? And this one's really sinister, I think, because money is like a huge thing in our 3D world, but it's just energy in our, spiritual world. But living in this 3D world, we forget the spiritual part of money, and we just go, I need to pay that bill. I need money to do this. I need money to do that. Or I just want more money. I want that thing. right? It's either wants and needs, and they're tied to money. And when you talk to a regular person out in the world, not people like us, right? You talk to just some regular person, and if the conversation were to go to money, like I need more money or I want more money, what is the solution that everybody comes up with? It's some variation of, I can get a better job or a second job, or I could take out a loan, or I could, if you're in a business, I could charge more or get better clients, or right. It's some tactic. It's something. I can do this, and that will make me more money. And it makes sense when you're like, oh yeah, I see people do that all the time and they make more money. And it does make sense, except it's wrong. Because the people that it works for are doing it as under their principle, and the people that it doesn't work for are not. And that's the problem. If you're doing it in like some desperation move and it's not tied to your principle, then it's not really going to work out for you, or it's not going to be sustainable for any amount of time. Or it might work and get you the money, but it's going to cost you something that you really don't want to pay, like your health or your sanity. So instead of getting a job, this is something that Landon and I have worked on over the past year. I had gotten a client, and this client was a great client for me, paying me. This one client was paying me like just about everything I needed for my monthly stuff, And then one month there was a hiccup, and I got paid a little late, and now suddenly I was in this position I felt where I was like feeling like I need that client to pay me so that I feel stable. And so we talked about this, and I remembered my principle is that my stability comes from me, not from this client. I didn't come here, like, oh, I'm going to go down to earth and live this life. And as long as that client pays me, then I can do all the things I want to do, because I am spirit and I have all the power in the world, except to get the money. That guy's got to give it to me, and that's ridiculous. So, What happened was I started practicing this. I came up with my own mantra. My stability comes from me. My stability comes from me. And I would say this day in and day out, and I would practice it and practice it and practice it until all of a sudden I realized that I haven't gotten paid from that client in months now. But because of COVID and things happening, right? But the second that client couldn't do the thing anymore, another thing popped up. And then when that thing was over, another thing popped up. And suddenly when it was happening, it was like the stability carried along, even though the client was gone, And I said, well, that's because my stability comes from me. That's my principle. My principle is that, right? So now it's like, well, I need more money. Well, guess what else? My wealth comes from me. My affluence comes from me. My abundance comes from me. And sometimes I think we forget that, because especially even me, I'm sitting here like coming up with these ideas for my business, and I'm just like, I could do this and I could do that, and that would make more money. And it's like, wait, time out. No, I want to do this because that is my principle to do that. That is coming forth from me to make this kind of a thing. And the people who will like it and will pay for it. And the people who don't like it won't. And that's fine too, and my wealth will come from me. So like there was stability, and now that's my solid foundation. And the wealth is like a step up. Now I can build upon that foundation. So anyway, that's that. Stop overthinking things and just ask yourself, what is my principle? What is my source? What is my truth? What is my, whatever word you like, right? It doesn't have to be principle. What is my thing inside? Follow that and remember that, and then wait until it says, hey, try this tactic. And then you go, oh, let me try that, and it works. And instead of you saying, I need this thing, let me try this tactic. No, let me try this one. No, let me try this one. None of them are going to work. All right. Unless you accidentally hit it, but don't bother doing that. I'm going to go to the comments now. That took a little longer than I expected. Anyway, thanks for being here. In my car at Burger King doing errands, says Ray. Wait, I might have passed some things here. Whew, hang on, I'm going to breathe for a second. Wow. See, I see Ray's name in the comments, and I remember to breathe. Thank you for that. Nearly missed it doing another painting. Oh, I read that one. She's in her car. Yes, you are lighter. I am lighter. Okay. Oh, the lights. Yeah. I asked if it looks different. I'm lighter. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Is there more contrast between me and the background? Is like, am I too orange? I'm trying to get this down, but it's hard to see because I'm looking at the screen, and I have to watch it back later. But I'm looking at the screen, but this light right here is like right in my face, and then this one is shining on me. I got lights over there. I got lights everywhere, and I did the blue lights differently. I think they're more uniform. I'm kind of happy about this, but just expect to come to Daily Fuel every once in a while now and see things a little different because I'm playing around to get stuff just right. Let me see. Robin says, looks good. Thank you. Robin says, a lot of times I either overthink things or don't think at all. That's true. And I don't know which is worse. If at all, I think they are both as bad. Counterproductive. I think not thinking at all is probably just being on autopilot, which is maybe you're not overthinking, but you've already overthunk things to the point where now you've got this tape in your head, right? In my old sales training, it was tapes in your head. Now it would be like, a program or something. But so that's like you've got this thing, a program playing in your head, and because this is the way you think all the time. So now you don't even have to overthink it anymore. You've overthunk it so many times. I know thunk isn't a word, but it sounds funny. You've overthought it so many times that now it's just automatic. And this thing happens, it's like, oh, I need more money. Let me get another job. I need more of this. Let me get another of that, right? It's like the tactics are just right there. And so yeah, I would say that they're both different variations of the exact same thing. You will have overthought it to the point that it is now second nature. And that's why Dr. Joe wrote that book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's a habit. You got to break the habit and not do that. Richard. Hey, Richard, what's going on, buddy? Richard says, funny you say that used to be a tile setter. Funny you say that. I used to be a tile setter and cake decorating. Many trades, never was happy. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I would guess that's because like maybe you got into a thing because like, oh, I can make money doing this, or oh, I'm pretty good doing this, so let me try this, or like you do something for yourself and somebody's like, that's cool, can you do it for me? And you're like, and they give you $50 or whatever, and it's like, I could do that again, And sometimes at first these things are fun. I used to run a construction company with my cousin. This is going back about 20 years, and because it started one day, he was helping me do something at my house, and then we were working on it together, and that was fun. And then he asked me, because he was doing construction on weekends from his job, and he asked me to help him with the job, and I did, and it was fun, and I loved hanging out with him. It was great. And next thing you know, we're like, we should start a construction company together. And we did that for about 6 months, and I went, what am I doing? I'm an artist. I can't be doing construction. This is ridiculous. And I quit. Amy says, I think sometimes overthinking happens when you're in an adult mindset, but when you have a child's mind, you don't think, you just create because you want to, because it's fun. Sorry. The words were flowing into each other there. I figured out where the commas were supposed to be. But there we go. Yes. When you have this, the adult, so in this case, the adult mindset is the 3D thing. It's like, I have to be practical. I have to be an adult. I have to be responsible. And I need to make more money, or I need, I can't do this thing I want to do because every time I do, they have something to say about it and I don't want to hear it. So, you know what? It's easier to just not even do it than to do it. But the child in you would be like, screw that. No, don't do that thing to make more money. Hang out over here for a little while and the universe has your back and will get you the money a different way. And who cares what they say? If they don't like it, they don't have to look at it. And if they still want to say things, just ignore them. That's what the kid's saying. So yeah, the kid is smart. Robin, kinda off the mark, Q. But I get the fuel because autos and things that run need fuel. But the blue part, what is that? A reference to police? No. No. It's not. It's fuel happens to make sense as the fuel, like gasoline part, only because I called this show Daily Fuel. But Fuel Blue came long before the idea for Daily Fuel came. And so, in my mind, Daily Fuel isn't even supposed to mean like fuel that you get for yourself daily. It just happens to fit, but it's more like daily fuel being me, right? And I was trying to come up with I had a company. I started it, and at first it was virtual sites graphic design, and I realized, what if I don't want to do websites? And so about a year or two later, I wanted it to sound like a bigger thing. And I was doing some gigs and stuff through a freelance agency, and I worked at a big company, and these companies were all named after the founders. So I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, and I came up with something, and I called it Donahue Studios, and so I was Donahue Studios for about another year. And then my wife is like, that is way boring. That is not you. You're trying to be something that you're not. You need something that is reflective of your style. And I was like, I know. I think I need to just make up a word. And so I started looking in magazines and things for words. And I saw the word blue, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense because blue is my favorite color, and I'm a designer, and color makes a lot of sense. And then I was thinking like energy and color, like color from the design part and energy because I'm an energy person. And I'm looking through the magazine, and all of a sudden I see this thing, and the word fuel just jumps off the page. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. I was like, what about blue fuel? And I was thinking 2 words, blue fuel, right? And I said something to a friend of mine, who ironically is not a friend anymore, but he was then, luckily, because he said to me, that's really cool, but you know what would be even cooler? Flip it around. Make it fuel blue. And I was like, that's amazing. And I did. And I made it 1 word, and it's hard to say. And I think I have gotten so much business from just having that name, because people will say to me, where'd you come up with the name Fuel Blue? And I tell them the story, and by the time I'm done telling them the story, they want to sign a contract. It's great. It happens all the time, and I loved it. But that's where Fuel Blue came from. So it did not mean anything about cars, and it didn't mean anything about police. It just happened to be blue is my favorite color, and fuel just spoke to me, and I put them together, and then Daily Fuel. So where am I? When you say that, the child, the blue. Okay, Richard, my goal is to love what you do, and you will never work a day in your life. Yeah, exactly. Very good. Still practicing. Well, we all need to practice that. Robin, all your talkings. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Amy, yes, more contrast, you stand out more. Cool. Thank you. Robin, talking about how new clients popped up over and over when you were worried and you realized the worrying was all for naught because things turned out fine. Maybe the next time you start feeling like that, you can train yourself to remember the times it was all right anyway. Yes. So that might help for the next times. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Remember when I was just saying that it was like I would practice. My stability comes from me. The first time I was practicing that, that client that I was counting on hadn't paid me. So I was like, my stability comes from me, right? And it was like I had to really dig deep for that one. And then all of a sudden he'd pay me and I'd be like, oh, phew. right? And then the next month, month after month, they would just pay me late all the time, and I wasn't even sure, was that the last check I was ever getting, And then finally, my stability comes from me. It got easier and easier, and then I realized that they were paying me late, but I didn't care anymore, and there was that point. Right, where I was just like, whatever, everything keeps working out fine, And then they had to skip a month, and some other thing popped up, and then finally the COVID thing happened, and it was just like no one's getting paid. We have to pause everything. And then I was like, okay, and I just kept. But at that point, the practicing was inherent. It was like part of my daily routine now, where I was just like, that's fine, because I now believe that I'm probably going to get something better, something that doesn't make me go, where's my check every month, And sure enough, it did, and it has continued to do so. And now I'm at the point where I've got this business coming up, and I realized that I was turning around on that I was looking at it going like, how can I make this business happen faster? How can I get that? And then I was like, what am I doing? That's not what I do. My stability comes from me, not from this business. It's not like I just came up with this idea for something and now I'm going to have no stability or wealth until that happens. No, it comes from me. And now I've created this thing because it came from me. And that's it. Just got to keep practicing. Practice every day. All right, guys, I'm done. It is it's Friday night. I didn't get to go get wine tonight before the live, so I'm gonna go get it now. But sorry, I wasn't able to have wine. I was too busy doing this, and I was scrambling to get this done. Racist. So nice to see you breathe and watch your passion. You don't even have to think much. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, Ray, you can have the booby prize tonight since you are now the last comment. And I don't even know if you ever won the booby prize, so that's pretty cool. And thanks, guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a Daily Fuel tomorrow. I'm going out tomorrow night, so I'm probably not going to be around. If I can, I'm going to try and do one early in the day. If not, I'll do some other kind of post. But I'll be around for some part of the day. But chances are I might not be back at Daily Fuel till Monday. And that's it. Richard says, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. I really always appreciate it. I forgot the wine too, says Robin. And Amy put things. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. I will see you, if not tomorrow, then Monday. And where's my mouse? There it is. Bye.